Hey there, this is Gary Magic, leader of the Last Samurai clan, and chances are if you're watching this video, it's because you're a member. I wanted to create a series of videos as guides to help you break down any walls that might be uh, halting you from making progress into the game. Today's video is going to be on gear cleansing, as well as being able to identify which pieces of gear are worth spending your silver on for leveling up. So let's just get straight into it. I'm going to show you this first and then kind of explain what it is, why we do it. And this first one I would do on anyone's account in Raid. So the first one, I always separate things into top row and bottom row artifacts. For this one, we're going to be doing bottom row artifacts. We're going to come down here to primary stats, and we're going to click on HP, attack, and defense. And we're going to make sure that we're clicking on the flat stats rather than the percentage based. And what I would do is just sell, select all, and get rid of them. I'm not going to do it right now because I need some of these for my examples, but you might be thinking, you might have a leveled up piece of gear that's legendary, and you might say, well, why would I want to get rid of this? I already spent the silver on it. It's legendary. Why would I get rid of it? Well, one, if we were using the Hell Hades optimizer, this piece here, because of the flat stat, would barely ever get chosen. The only time it would is if I was trying to put somebody in a 4-piece regen set, and this was like the last piece I had. But the reason the Hell Hades optimizer would not pick it is, like I said, because of the flat stat. Let me show you why that's such a big deal. So if we take like Ninja, his attack is, his base attack is right here, and this is, everything added on from artifacts. If you take a look at Wukong, still in the 1500 range. Damage dealers are about 1500 attack. But just for the sake of simplicity, because I hate math, let's just say we had 1000 attack. That piece of gear, which was a chest piece and attack, leveled up. It's rank 6, leveled all the way up. It only adds 265. As you can see, I already wrote it in here. Whereas if we had a rank 6 leveled up to level 16 attack percentage base, it's always going to be 60%. So 60% of the base stat, which is 1000, would be 600. Now you tell me, which would you rather have, the 600 or the 265? I think I know what I would want. But you might be thinking, but still, it's legendary, and it's only 400 attack. What's the big deal? Well, if you do that for every piece of gear, that's 400, or let's say it's only 300. Actually, I'm sorry, 300 and something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could be missing out on up to 900 attack, assuming you were going to put all of these as attack percentage, and instead you're using them all as flat attack. Now, so that's one way you're handicapping yourself, is the build itself. You're also handicapping yourself on your storage space. Why would you want to have, level 16 legendary flat stats taking up space in your inventory when you want to keep that for eventually when you start getting there, the better stuff, the 6 stars, the 5 stars, and epics and up. And then you're also handicapping yourself because you could be selling that gear and using that silver to upgrade your stuff further. So that would be the first way that we do a gear cleanse. That's the easiest one. Like I said, I do that on anyone's account. The next thing we need to do is figure out our ceiling and our floor. Now, everyone has the same ceiling in Raid. It's 6-star mythical. We all wish that every piece of artifact that we owned was 6 stars and that the rarity was mythical. So that's the ceiling, but what's the floor? Well, we figure out the floor by, we start at the top and work our way down. So you want to click on 6-star, and based on what your number is here in your stash, you might want to ask yourself, would I feel comfortable if I deleted everything else that was beneath this rank and having only this many pieces of artifacts? I know a lot of you probably aren't at 6 stars yet where you can be comfortable, but a lot of you should be around 5 stars, or maybe let's say you're 4 stars. So you just want to ask yourself, am I comfortable deleting everything underneath it? But you might be asking, what number is that? And the number I have is going to be 200. And how I got there is, well, one champion needs 6 pieces of artifacts to be fully geared. Well, how many champs do we need to gear, or how many champs do we need to have fully geared? That's what we really need to figure out. And then times that by the 6 pieces of artifact that they each need. So you need 5 clan boss champions. You need 4 main arena champions, and if you are doing tag team arena or siege, and I hope you are, and that's in another 8. So this comes out to, these 3 come out to 17. So 17 times 6 is going to give you 102. And then, so this is like the bare minimum I would do, but the reason I double this number and I just rounded it down to 200 is because if you just have 102, by the time you get to your last champ, he's just getting what's left over. He's getting hand-me-downs and scraps. They're probably not going to be optimized very well. It's not going to be a very good geared champ. So the reason I would double it is so that I feel comfortable, so I have wiggle room. And again, it's because we're going to end up deleting pretty much everything that's underneath what we deem our floor. But don't do that yet. Figure out what your floor is. And what we're going to do first, once you figure out what your floor is, let's say, for example, your floor is 400. Let's say you have 200 pieces of 200 pieces of rank 4 gear, and this is what your floor is. What I would do is bottom row artifacts. Because we care more about rank on bottom row, we're going to go ahead and get rid of everything that's 3 and 1 and 2. However, for the top row artifacts, I know I said flat stats suck, but the thing is, we can't change what we can get. Swords will always be attack, helms will always be HP, and shields will always be defense. So we have to kind of work with what we're given. And quite frankly, the difference between a level 5, level 16 attack at 225 versus a level 6, 12, I'm not really worried about 100 in one spot. What I would rather have is more substats to begin with, and the ability to get more of these rolls, 1, 2, and 1, because it's legendary. Legendaries get 4 rolls for substats. So for that, if my floor was 4, what I would do is click on 3-star, and I would sell everything that's under the legendary rarity, and then I would sell all that, and then I'd go back and sell 1 and 2 artifacts, still in the top row of artifacts. But I should have probably mentioned this first. Things you should never sell in this regard. For our first step, go ahead and do it. But when we come to this part, we don't want to be selling Relentless. Relentless is a special thing. You only get it from tournaments or unless you're buying packs. As you can see, I clearly have a lot of Relentless because you just never know what you might need. And then when we get down here to Cruel and Immortal, I would keep everything that is below Cruel and Immortal because these are all special stats. You get them from Cursed City, you get them from Hydra Reward Chests, you get them from the Forge. Everything above Cruel and Immortal is more of something you get from the dungeon, and you shouldn't, feel sad about parting ways with this stuff up here. So when we're going through and selling it based on what we found out our floor is, do not sell Relentless or Cruel and Immortal beneath it. Now, let's say you still want a little bit more silver, you still want to trim the fat from your artifacts. The next thing you can do is go to substats, and we're going to click those flat stats again. So this is going to look for pieces, a single piece that has all 3. And as we can see here, the one I had, oh no, this is not the one I had. This one, I probably shouldn't have upgraded this, but I needed to because I needed a good piece of Savage. But yeah, mainly something that already has all 3 of these is not worth leveling up. Again, why would we want flat stat, HP, attack, defense when we could be getting, even just the percentage base or Ideally, what I would like to see is speed, accuracy, and some crit damage or something on there. Those are the stats that I want to be looking for. So, so yeah, again, find pieces that have all three, and then if you want to, if you want to do it a little bit further, do pieces that have two, HP and attack, sell them, HP and defense, sell them, and then attack and defense, sell them. So that's something that you could do to trim the fat a little bit more. That pretty much covers it for the gear cleanse. I'm not going to get into accessories. It's a lot more nuanced, and personally, I use the Hell Haze Optimizer to help with that because when you're searching for things here, you can't find pieces that don't have something. Like when it comes to banners, you really don't want banners that don't have speed. So I would mostly sell all of my banners that don't have speed, but you can't sort that way through here. And I can show you how to do your accessories in another video. But now, leveling things up. First, I will say when you do decide to level things up, level them up to level 12. You can see I have a lot of things at level 12. And the reason I don't go straight to 16 is because we have the artifact enhancement events. As you can see down here, we get more points across the board for leveling things up to level 16. So I'm not going for this fusion, so I don't really care about doing it, but if it was a fusion that you wanted to do, or if you just wanted the rewards, this would be the time to take those 12s to 16. But otherwise, if you're like me and you have a good chunk of silver, this is probably the most I've ever had, then yeah, just level it up to 12. I wouldn't even bother doing, I know some people, they do 4, then 8, then 12. They want to see what rolls they're getting as they go. I just go straight to 12 and see what it is that I get. But so anyway, with that out of the way, go straight to 12, and I'll show you what to use that tip on. When I'm first doing my upgrading for the day, when you log in, you get your daily to do 4 upgrade attempts. This is the first thing I do. Is I search for anything that has speed and accuracy. And that's because, we have certain thresholds that we have to get to. If you have a damage champ that needs crit rate, obviously crit rate, mostly needs to get to 100%. There's some exceptions. But you need to get this to 100%, and it's the same with speed, and it's the same with accuracy. When it comes to speed, I actually have a full list of, you can see the speed for all the different dungeons and all the levels, so that I know I'm meeting my speed requirement to go at least as fast as the content I'm facing. And it's the same thing with accuracy. You want to make sure that you have the accuracy to cover the content that you're facing. So we have those thresholds that we have to meet, and then it's kind of like everything else can go into these other substats. I assume along the way, as I'm upgrading these things, that I'm just going to get rolls into defense and into HP. I'm not going to go out of my way to search for something that is defense percentage and purposely upgrade that. I'm going to do that with this first. And you can see basically everything I have fully upgraded. The other thing I do is after that, because this is kind of like, this is for everyone, but it's also mainly for your debuffers and stuff like that, your healers, your revivers. But then when it comes to your damage builds, search for crit rate and crit damage, and do the same thing, because we want to make sure that we get this. The other thing to look out for, since we're talking about speed, the best way to actually get speed is going to be boots, and then speed primary stat. This is, you can see at rank 6, level 16, you get 45 speed. Compare that to something that has a substat speed with some good rolls, and you're only getting 21 here. That's 21 or 45. I know which one I'm taking. So after you upgrade your boots that have speed as a primary stat, I would come over to gloves, and I would look for crit rate gloves. Upgrade those because level 16 rank 6 gives you 60. You're already more than halfway there to your 100% crit rate. And same thing with your crit damage. This is going to give you 80% crit damage, which is pretty good. You know, as you can see from my ninja's not my best, my Acrizia is. You can see she's got, you know, 260 crit damage right there on top of her just barely over 100% crit rate. You know, same thing with someone like Ninja, he's 169. So yeah, that's what I would do in terms of upgrading gear, because if you do use the optimizer, which that will probably be my next video, it's going to care more about these two things more than anything. It's not going to care how high your HP is. It's not going to care. It needs to hit these thresholds, and this is what's going to make your account and your champions more efficient. I actually did an account takeover for someone in the clan recently, and kind of optimized their champs, upgraded some gear, used the Hell Hades optimizer, and while I couldn't push their clan boss damage, I was able to make it more consistent for them. But what I was able to do is make them get more Hydra damage. See, this is the account I took over for a couple days, and this is his new personal record for Hydra after I've taken over his account and helped, you know, upgrade all these guys here. So yeah, I think that about covers it. I don't want this video to be too long. Like I said, I think my next video will be about either the Hell Hades optimizer, or I might do like a general kind of tips and tricks type thing. I might kind of go over this thing here. We'll see. But yeah, I hope this does help you. I see a lot of people, you know, still running level 4 gear, or they're worried. Actually, no, that's a topic for another time. I will see you in the next video, and take care.